Ladies and gents, boys and girls, I welcome you back to another AoE2 Stats That Don't Matter video, where we will talk through stats that are somewhat interesting, but absolutely have no bearing on what you should do or what players should do in the game. It's a complicated game, our Age of Empires, and sometimes it's just fun to dive deep into fun little statistics that, again, don't matter. Real quick, before we get into these stats, I want to say thanks for all the likes and the views and whatnot on the first two episodes. I wasn't really expecting it. I was just going to toss this into my very busy routine, but it's become a lot more important to me now as people are more and more excited for it. So let's get into it. There is a player from Vietnam that most of you probably know as Saymyname. Saymyname is a Vietnamese player that is 33rd on the all-time earnings of Age of Empires 2 esports. Also, Saymyname is fairly consistent with that ranking, ranging from anywhere from 20th to maybe 35th in the world. It has put up some really good fights and performances over the last year or two. Since 2019, when the definitive edition came out, Saymyname has been known as that Saymyname. However, for years before, Saymyname was actually known as Yellow. For people like me, it's kind of gotten hard to get used to a new name because Yellow is what I knew him as for about 4 or 5 years. But it's safe to say that it seems like this player wants to be known more as Saymyname instead of Yellow, but some people have a hard time forgetting things. Ever since he changed his name to Saymyname, a lot of viewers continue to say my name, Tristan, every time I cast this player, which has gotten horribly annoying, and I told him in 2018 that this was the case, and I thought maybe he would, switch his name back to Yellow, but this was his response. So I still thought it would be fun to look at the data and see, when does Saymyname actually play Yellow? The name he used to go by. And we have some interesting stats. Out of 4,848 1v1s played, only 21 of them have been played as Yellow, which is 0.4%. Of those games, 12 of them were wins out of the 21, which is a 57% win rate. In team games, however, which was 4,614 games played, 483 of those games were played as Yellow, which is a staggering 10.5%. And of those 483 games, 270 of them were wins, which comes in at 56%. If you look at the 1v1 and team game data, you can see that in 1v1s, Yellow is essentially average for this player, with the color gray, red, blue, and orange being a lot higher in the win rate. And in team games, it seems like all these colors are pretty much the same, which makes sense because there's a lot more matches on each color, as that's not something you have as much say in. But if the 1v1 data is anything to go by, maybe Saymyname decided to become full-time Saymyname because Yellow doesn't necessarily bring that many wins. I don't know. But in my heart, because I've known this guy for a long time, he will always be Yellow. I will call him Saymyname, and people might say my name, but there you have it. 57% win rate in 1v1s with the color Yellow from Yellow. That's it for this episode. Let me know your thoughts on this. I hope some of the old clips were fun to mix into this video. Well, many of you guys might not have known the history there, so that was part of what spiced this content up. The next one I'm going to do, and hopefully there won't be as much of a wait for the next one, is going to be on a player named Paladin. And Paladin is a classic player as well, actually a Chinese player, and we're going to have data on how successful Paladin is with Paladin civs, or even just how many times Paladin plays with Paladin civs. It's very interesting, just like this. Feel free to send me ideas in the comments. I cannot promise to get to those ideas, but I will read your comments. Thank you very much for the love. Thank you for having great taste in video games, because the rest of the world still needs to find this awesome one, and I hope to see you next time.